Hello everyone, it's me Sanjay Vasu back again for another video. This time I'm doing it on Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics for Paper 4 extended for the second variant of May/June 2023. Let's start. Question 1. A. The diagram shows an isosceles triangle with the base extended. Find the value of x. So first we can find this angle, let's just name that as y. Y is equal to, since these two angles are equal, so y equals 180 minus 42 whole thing divided by 2. That'll be equal to 69 degrees. And the x value will be 180 minus 69, since angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. That's 111 degrees. That's the answer. B. The diagram shows three lines meeting at a point. The ratio A is to B is to C equals 3 is to 4 is to 5. Find the value of C. So A is 3 parts, B is 4 parts, C is 5 parts, right? Now, the total number of parts is equal to 12. And 12 parts make the full rotation, which is 360 degrees. So one part will be 360 by 12, which is equal to 30 degrees. The value of C, that'll be 5 parts, that'll be 530, which is 150 degrees. That's the answer. Question C. A regular pentagon has an exterior angle D. Regular hexagon has an interior angle H. Find the fraction D by H. Give the answer in simplest form. So a regular pentagon's exterior angle, so D, will be equal to 360, which is the sum of exterior angles, divided by the number of sides of the pentagon, that's n. 360 by pentagon has 5 sides, so 360 by 5, 72 degrees. Now H will be the sum of interior angles divided by number of sides. So since it's a hexagon, 180 into n minus 2, number of sides, that's 6 minus 2, divided by the number of sides, which is 6. That will be 720 by 6, which is 120 degrees. Now the fraction will be 72 by 120, that's D by H, which is equal to, when you divide both sides by 24, 3 by 5 in simplest form. That's the answer. Let's go to part D. Show that PQRS is a cyclic quadrilateral. So if it's a cyclic quadrilateral, that means you can draw a circle, and this quadrilateral has all 4 corners on the circle. I know what I've drawn is not a circle. There's no space above the paper to draw it, but then if you draw a perfect circle, it's possible to get this quadrilateral. So all 4 corners, P, Q, R, and S, will be on the circumference of the circle. That's the meaning of cyclic. And there's a property that opposite angles add up to 180 degrees. That means these two add up to 180 degrees and these two add up to 180 degrees. So 3x minus 40 plus x equals 180 degrees, and 2x minus 5 plus x plus 20 equals 180 degrees. If both of these give the same x values, that means it is cyclic. So we solve the first one. First we'll solve that one, and then we'll do the second one. Now 3x plus x minus 40 equals 180, so 4x minus 40 equals 180, and that means 4x equals to 20 degrees, and x is equal to 55 degrees. Did we get x equals 55 with the second one as well? Let's see. Now 3x plus 15 equals 180 degrees. 3x equals 165 degrees, x equals 55 degrees. We also get 55 here. Since both of these are equal, therefore, PQRS is a cyclic quadrilateral proven below. That's the answer. Let's go to part E. The diagram shows a circle of radius 9 centimeters. The minor sector AOB with sector angle 50 degrees is removed from the circle. Calculate the length of the major arc AB. So if this angle is 50 degrees, then what is the reflex angle? That'll be 360 minus 50, which is 310 degrees, right? Now, the arc length, major arc by the way, that means it's a larger length arc, that'll be 2 pi r into theta by 360. Theta is the angle and 2 pi r is the circumference. So 2 pi into 9 multiplied by 310 by 360, right? That would be equal to 15.5 pi. And then you can use a calculator to do this. I'll get mine out just a second. Here we go. 15.5 multiplied by pi, which is equal to 48.7 centimeters. Why do we keep it as 48.7? Because we need non-exact values to be in 3 significant figures unless stated otherwise in the question. So over here it's 48.69, it's given by the calculator, and we can round that to 48.7 to 3 significant figures. Also, it's not given in the question to round it to any other one, right? So we have to do 48.7, 3 significant figures. That is our answer. Let's go to question 2. A. Anu changes $830 into euros when the exchange rate is 1 euro equals $1.16. He spends 500 euros. He then changed the remaining money back into dollars at the same exchange rate. Work out how much in dollars Anu receives. So the number of euros that this value is, that will be 830 by 1.16. That'll be, let's get our calculator out. 830 divided by 1.16. That's 715.52 euros. Now he spends 500, right? So 715.52 minus 500, which is equal to 215.52. And that's the number of euros he has remaining. Now, when he converts them to dollars, that will be 215.52 into 1.16, which is equal to, let's just do this, 215.52 into 1.16, $250. That's the answer. Let's go to question part B. In 2021, Anil earns $37,000. He spends $12,400 on bills in 2021. Calculate the percentage of his earnings he spends on bills. So the percentage will be 12,400, the amount he spends on bills, divided by his total salary, multiplied by 100%. That will be equal to, getting our calculator out for this, 12,400 divided by 37,000. That will be equal to 0.335135 goes on, multiplied by 100% to get 33.5% to 3 significant figures. Because we always need to give it to 3 significant figures if it is a non-exact value. That's the answer. Let's go to part 2. His earnings of $37,000 increased by 3.2% in 2022. Calculate his earnings in 2022. Increase of 3.2%. That is simply 103.2% of the original, right? Because we add 100% to 3.2% to get that. Now, that will be equal to $37,000 multiplied by 103.2%, which is 103.2 by 100. We can cancel 2 zeros. 370 into 103.2. That will be, let's just get a calculator out. 370 into 103.2 to get $38,184. That's our answer. $38,184. Let's go to part C. Anil invests $3,500 in an account that pays a rate of 2.4% per year compound interest. 1. Calculate the total interest earned at the end of 5 years. So there's a formula for total interest or compound interest. So the interest earned, which is I, that will be equal to the principal cost, which is the initial cost, multiplied by 100 plus the value in percentage, which is p, whole thing divided by 100, and to the power of n, or number of years or months or days, whichever we are using. So in this case, the interest will be equal to the principal, which is 3,500, in other words, the initial value, multiplied by 100 plus 2.4% per year compound interest, divided by 100 to get a decimal value, to the power of 5, because 5 years. Now, that will be equal to, let's get our calculator out, 100 plus 2.4, whole thing divided by 100. Now, to the power of 5, we can do this, 1.1258999, and multiply by 3,500. That will be 3,940.65. But well, we need the interest earned, right? So that means we need to subtract the initial amount. So 3,940.65 minus 3,500, that will be $440.65 earned. That's the answer. Let's go to part 2. Find the number of complete years before Arnold has at least $5,000 in his account. That means that this full thing to the power of n, by the way, we just put 3,500 into 100 plus 2.4 divided by 100, whole thing to the power n, because we asked to find the number of years, okay? That'll be greater than or equal to 5,000. Now we need to find the value of n. So first of all, let's just simplify this. That will be 3,500 into 1.024 to the power n. That's greater than or equal to $5,000. Now we can bring 3,500 to the other side. Now 1.024 to the power n. That will be greater than or equal to 5,000 divided by 3,500, which can be simplified to 10 by 7. Now first I'll write this down. Now you can convert 10 by 7 to a decimal. Let's get a calculator. 10 divided by 7 to get 1.42857. I'm writing to 5 decimal places, as you can see, because I need high accuracy level. Now we can plug in some values into n, into this inequality, and try to find out what n is, because n has to be a whole number. Now let's start with, for example, n to the value of 10. So 1.024 to the power of 10, that will be equal to, let's just do that, 1.024 to the power 10. That's 1.26765, which is still less than this value, 1.42857. Now let's say 1.024 to the power of 15. That will be 1.024 to the power 15 to get 1.42725. That's still less than 1.42857, but as you can clearly see, it is very, very close. Only the 1,000th place is a bit smaller. Now let's take 1.024 to the power 16 now. That'll be, let's just do that on the calculator, to get 1.4615. And this finally is greater than 1.42857, right? And that means we have found our value, 1.024 to the power of 16. And that means n is equal to 16. This is the number of complete years before Anil has at least $5,000 in his account. We can plug in the value of n over here in the initial one to find out and to just check the value. So that means we get 1.024 to the power of 16, which is here, multiplied by 3500. That will be $5,115 and 26 cents if you round it. And yes, this is greater than $5,000. So the answer is 16 years. Let's go to question 3. Question 3. The diagram shows a right angled triangle ABC. A1. The area of the triangle is 60 centimeters squared. Show that 2x squared plus 11x minus 105 is equal to 0. So what it's asking to show is that the area in the formula is equal to the area of the triangle given. So half BH, which is half into x plus 3, which is the height, into 2x plus 5, which is the base, is equal to 60. Now we can expand this, so half into 2x squared plus 11x plus 15 equals 60. We can bring half to the other side, meaning that 2x squared plus 11x plus 15 equals 120. And that means 2x squared plus 11x minus 120 plus 15, which is minus 105. That's equal to 0. And that is what we need, proven. Let's go to part 2. Part 2, solve by factorization. 2x squared plus 11x minus 105 equals 0. So first, let's take 2x in both of the brackets. And now we'll find two numbers that add up to 11 and multiply to negative 105 into 2, which is equal to negative 210. So something times something equals minus 210. Something plus something equals 11. So these two can actually be 21 and minus 10. If we put these, we will get the two values above. Now you can just plug these two values, 21 plus 21 and a minus 10 over there, into the brackets. And then we can see that we can simplify one of the brackets, right, by taking the 2 out. So we just divide this thing by 2, and then we cancel this to get x and then minus 5. So if we divide by 2, we'll get 2x plus 21 into x minus 5. And this is our factorization. By the way, we cannot simplify this bracket, therefore I have done it for this one by dividing by 2. Now we can solve the equation. So x is equal to minus 21 when being to the other side, and then divide by 2, which is equal to minus 10.5. And otherwise, x will be equal to 5, because we bring minus 5 to the other side, so 5. So minus 10.5 and 5 are the answers. And that's the answer. Let's go to part 3. Calculate angle ACB. Angle ACB is this angle over here. So first of all, let's find these two sides. Because the length cannot be negative, so we can disregard minus 10.5. So x is equal to 5. And that means x plus 3 equals 8 centimeters. And then 2x plus 5 equals 15 centimeters. Right? So you'll write 8 centimeters here and 15 centimeters here. Now we can use trigonometric laws to find ACB. Out of SOHCAHTOA, which one do we use? Of course, TOA, which is tan of theta, or x, is equal to opposite by adjacent. So let's write that. Tan theta equals opposite by adjacent, which is equal to, in this case, the opposite is 15 and the adjacent is 8, because we are finding ACB angle. So 15 by 8. And that means theta will be tan inverse of 15 by 8, which we can do with our calculator. There we go. So 15 divided by 8, and then tan inverse, to get 61.9 degrees. By the way, this is to 1 decimal place, as all angles have to be given at 1 decimal place. That's the answer. Let's go to part B. Triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Triangle DEF has an area of 93.75 centimeters squared. 1. Find the side of the smallest angle of triangle DEF. So let's go back and see the angles of triangle ACB. So this angle is 61.9. This is 90. So this will be 180 minus 61.9 minus 90, which is equal to 28.1 degrees. So we have this as 28.1 degrees. This is the smallest angle. The side of the smallest angle of triangle DEF is also going to be 28.1 degrees because the angles don't change in similar triangles. Let's go to part 2. Find the length of the shortest side of triangle DEF. Well, the hypotenuse is always the longest side, and that means it cannot be the shortest, right? And we know that this is longer than this, or the opposite is longer than the adjacent with respect to this angle. So AC is the shortest length in this triangle. Now the area is 60 centimeters squared here and 93.75 centimeters squared here. So first of all, AC is the shortest side. And now to find the ratio of triangle ABC is to triangle DEF. That'll be equal to 60 is to 93.75 whole thing square root, which means after you simplify the ratio, you square root both sides. So 60 is to 93.75, that'll be equal to, if you multiply both sides by 4 by 3, you get 80 is to 125. If you square root the full thing, so we can simplify this to get 16 is to 25, and square root we get 4 is to 5. Why are we square rooting? Because this is the ratio of the areas. So to find the ratio of the sides, we'll have to square root it, right? Now, the length of the shortest side of triangle DEF, first of all, the length of AC is 8 centimeters, right? So 4 is to 5, that'll be equal to 8 is to x, which is the length of the shortest side of triangle DEF. Now, that means 4 by 5 is equal to 8 by x. And x is equal to 8 into 5 by 4, which is equal to 10. 10 centimeters. That's the answer. Let's go to question 4. Question 4. The table shows information about the heights of 80 children. Height in h meters is given and frequency. A1, write the interval containing the median. So if we have 80 children, that means 80 plus 1 by 2, 40.5, which means 40th and 41st frequency or child will be in the interval containing the median. So we have 2 children here, 13 with a total of 15, total of 39, and then the 40th and 41st will be inside this one, which is 1.65 less than h less than equal to 1.8. Part 2, calculate an estimate of the mean height. So to calculate the mean height, first we need the midpoint. So the midpoint will be 1.3 here, 1.45, 1.575, 1.725, and then 1.85. These are the midpoints, right? Now, the estimate of the mean height, that will be 1.3 into 2 plus 1.45 into 13. We are multiplying midpoints with the frequencies. Add with 1.575 into 24 plus 1.725 into 32 plus 1.85 into 9. And the whole thing divided by 80 because that's the total number of children. Let's get a calculator out now. Here we go. 1.3 into 2 plus 1.45 into 13 plus 1.575 into 24 plus 1.725 into 32 plus 1.85 into 9. 131.1 divided by 80 now to get 1.64 meters to 3 significant figures. Remember that we need to write our answer in 3 significant figures all the time if it is not already, or if it's not specified in the question, some other degree of accuracy. That's why 1.64 meters is the answer. B1, One of these children is chosen at random. Calculate the probability that they have a height of 1.4 meters or less. That means they should be inside this interval. So that will be 2 frequency divided by a total of 80. That will be 1 by 40. That's the answer. Part 2. Two of these children are chosen at random. Calculate the probability that both are taller than 1.5 meters, but only one is taller than 1.8 meters. That means one of them is in between 1.5 and 1.8, right? Which means inside these two. And the other one is inside this one, which is greater than 1.8 meters. Taller than 1.8 meters, in other words. So that will be 24 plus 32 by 80 multiplied by 9 by 79. This is because first person will be in between 1.5 and 1.8, let's say. So 24 and 32, this is the frequency in this interval. So 24 plus 32, and then divide by the total number 80 for the first probability. Multiply by, should be taller than 1.8, so 9 frequency. And then we have already chosen one child, so we do 80 minus 1, 79. And then we have to multiply this by 2 because there are two different orders which the children could be chosen, right? So the person who's taller than 1.5 could be chosen first, or the person who's taller than 1.8 could be chosen first. So you multiply by 2 for two different possibilities. We get 56 by 80 into 9 by 79 into 2. So you can cancel some out. We get 7 over 10. And then we can cancel this to get a 5 down here. And our final answer will be 63 by 395. And this will be our answer. Let's go to part C. 1. Complete the cumulative frequency table for the heights. So let's go here and find the cumulative frequency or the addition of the frequencies. So less than equal to 1.5, that's 13 plus 2, 15. And then now this 15 over here, we add with the next value, 24, to get 39. And then 39 plus 32, which is 71. And then 71 plus 9, which is 80. Part 2, on the grid, draw the cumulative frequency diagram. So h less than equal to 1.4, that's 2. So you can go over there. And then h less than equal to 1.5 is 15 over here. 1.65, 39 up there. 1.8, 71, like this. And the final one, 1.9, 80. And now we can just connect the dots pretty much. Something like that. And of course you need to be able to see exactly where the points are, like this. Make it a bit larger if you can't see it already. And that's our answer. D. Use a diagram to find an estimate of 1. The interquartile range, and 2. The 60th percentile. So interquartile range, that will be quartile 3 minus quartile 1. And that will be, so third quartile is 75% of all the frequencies, which is 60, and that'll be at 1.75. Then minus 25%, that's quartile 1. That'll be 20, which reaches at 1.53, which is equal to 0.22 meters. That's the answer. Now I can go to part 2, the 60th percentile. So 60th percentile of 80 will be 60% of 80, which is equal to 60 by 100 into 80. We can cancel out some zeros to get 48. By the way, why am I taking up 80 and not of 1.9 or something here? Because 80 is the total cumulative frequency, the highest possible cumulative frequency, or in other words, the total number of children. So 60th percentile is 48, and the 48th frequency in cumulative, we can just draw a line, and then we get to 1.69 meters. This corresponds to 1.69 meters, and that's why we get that as the answer. Now we can go to question 5. Question 5, A. A cone has diameter 8 centimeters and perpendicular height as 15 centimeters. 1. Calculate the volume of the cone. The volume of a cone with radius r and height h is v equals 1 by 3 pi r squared h. All we need to do is substitute the values. Volume is equal to 1 by 3 pi into the radius, which is diameter by 2, 8 by 2, which is 4 centimeter radius, right? So 4 squared multiplied by 15. That will be, we can cancel this out to get a 5 over here, and then we'll have 4 squared 16, so 16 times 5, 80. 80 times pi, and then we can use our calculator to get that. Here we go. 80 times pi, which is equal to 251.33 centimeters cubed. That's the answer. Let's go to part 2. A label completely covers the curved surface area of the cone. Calculate the area of the label as a percentage of the total surface area of the cone. The curved surface area of a cone with radius r and slant height L is A equals pi RL. So first let's find the total surface area. That'll be equal to the curved surface area plus the area of the circle on the bottom, right? That will be pi RL plus area of circle, which is pi r squared. Now to find the length, we need to use Pythagoras theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. That means using this 15 and this 4. So 15 squared plus 4 squared is equal to c squared. And then 225 plus 16 is equal to 241, which is equal to c squared. Now c will be root 241, which is equal to the length, or the slant height, which is this. That is, let's get our calculator out. 241 square rooted, and we'll get 15.524 centimeters, of course. Now we can find the total surface area. So total surface area will be equal to pi RL plus pi r squared, which is pi into 4 into 15.524 plus pi into 4 squared. And if we do this correctly, let's just do it on our calculator. 4 into 15.524 multiplied by pi plus 16, which is 4 squared, multiplied by pi, which is equal to 245.35 centimeters cubed. Now, the curved surface area is equal to just pi RL, which is pi into 4 into 15.524, and that will be 4 times 15.524. That's that, multiplied by pi, to get 195.08 centimeters cubed. Now, we can divide this by 245.35 and multiply by 100 to get the percentage. That will be equal to, divide by 245.35 to get this, multiply by 100 to get 79.5%. That's the answer. Let's go to part B. An empty cylindrical container has a radius of 0.45 meters. 300 liters of water is poured into the container at a rate of 375 ml per second. 1. Find the time taken in minutes and seconds for all the water to be poured into the container. So 300 liters of water is equal to times 1,000, 300,000 milliliters, right? And 375 ml per second, so that means number of seconds will be this, 300,000 divided by 375, which is 800 seconds, which is equal to 13 minutes 20 seconds. That's the answer. You can go to part B. Calculate the height of the water in the container. So the volume is equal to pi r squared h, which is equal to pi into 0.45 squared times h. Now the volume of the water is 300,000 milliliters, which is equal to 300,000 centimeters cubed, right? Now in meters cubed, because 0.45 is in meters, so pi into 0.45 squared times h is equal to, if we divide by 100 3 times over here, that will be 0.3 meters cubed, and then we can simply solve for the height h. 0.3 by 0.45 squared times pi. Let's just do that. 0.3 divided by 0.45 squared, which is equal to that, and then divide by pi to get 0.472 meters. That's the answer. Let's go to question 6. A sequence has n term n by 2n plus 3. 1. Find the first 3 terms of the sequence. Give your answers as fractions. So that means n equals 1, n equals 2, n equals 3. So n and then n by 2n plus 3. Let's just make a small table. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And then this is 1 by 2 into 1 plus 3, 1 by 5. 2 by 2 into 2 plus 3, 2 by 7. 3 by 3 into 2 plus 3, 9. And this 3 by 9 can be written as 1 by 3, right? So 1 by 5, 2 by 7, and 1 by 3. Now we can go to part 2. The kth term of the sequence is 12 by 25. Find this value of k. So n by 2n plus 3 is equal to 12 by 25. Now, if the kth term of the sequence is 12 by 25, that means k is equal to n. So k by 2k plus 3 is equal to 12 by 25, right? Now we can write 25k is equal to 12 times 2k plus 3, right? And that means 25k is equal to 24k plus 36. So k is equal to 36. That's the answer. If you want to, you can substitute it in. That'll be 36 by 36 into 2 plus 3. That will be 36 by 75, which is equal to 12 by 25, and that's correct. So we know that the answer is correct. Part B, find the nth term of each sequence. 1, 6, 13, 32, 69, 130, goes on. Alright, so first of all, let's find the differences. 6 and 13, difference is 7. 19, 37, 61. Now you can find the second difference. 12, 18, 24, and then the third difference is 6, 6. So the third difference is equal. This is the first, second, and third difference, right? So third difference is equal, so the power, the highest power, or the degree of the sequence is 3. Others, right? Degree is equal to 3. So that means the highest exponent is n cubed. So using this information, let's first write the n cubed for n equals 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1, 8, 27, 64, 125. And now the one we have right here is 6, 13, 32, 69, 130. If you realize, we add 5 to n cubed to get our sequence in the question. So our sequence is n cubed plus 5. That's the answer. Part 2, 100, 50, 25, 12.5, 6.25. We can't take differences here because we can realize that we are dividing by 2 each time, right? Each time we go from one term to the next. So there's a geometric sequence, right? And we cannot use the same method we did in part 1. So if n equals 1, then the sequence is 100. So now 2 sequence is 50. 3 sequence is 25. Now we're dividing 200 by 2 to the power of 1. This is 200 divided by 2 to the power of 2. This one is 200 divided by 2 to the power of 3, right? So we can realize 1, 2, 3 is coming here, so that's n. So the nth term is actually 200 divided by 2 to the power of n. That's the answer. In geometric sequences, you can always expect an exponent to be n. Now we can go to question 7. Question 7. The diagram shows a straight road between town A, B, and C. AC equals 60 kilometers, CB equals 87 kilometers, and B is due east of A, which means this angle is 90 degrees. The bearing of C from A is 038 or 38 degrees. A, show the angle ACB is 95.1 degrees to 1 decimal place. So first of all, we have this 90-degree angle. So that means we can calculate angle CAB, because we have 38 degrees as well. So 90 minus 38, which is equal to 52 degrees. Now we can use sine law to calculate this angle here and then subtract to get that angle. So A by sine A equals B by sine B. And here 60 kilometers by sine angle CBA, which is this angle what we want to find, that will be equal to 87 kilometers by sine of angle CAB, 52 degrees. Now we can do angle CBA, if we did correctly, will be sine inverse of 60 times sine 82 divided by 87. Oh yeah, sorry, it's 52. Anyway, let's get a calculator out. There we go. So sine 52 times 60 divided by 87. There we go. Now sine inverse to get 32.9 degrees. Now angle ACB will be 180 minus 52 minus 32.9, which is equal to 180 minus 52 minus 32.9, which is 95.1 degrees to 1 decimal place. Of course, 32.9 is to 1 decimal place, so this is also to 1 decimal place. That's our answer. Let's go to part B. Without stopping, a car travels from town A to town C and then to town B, and then directly back to town A. The total time taken is 3 hours 20 minutes for the full journey. Calculate the average speed of the car for this journey. Give your answer in kilometers per hour. So first we need to find this length, AB. Use sine law. A by sine A equals B by sine B. So now AB by sine of the angle opposite, which is 95.1, is equal to, let's take any other pair, let's say CB and this angle, so 87 by sine 52. Now AB will be 87 by sine 52 times sine 95.1, right? And let's get our calculator out. So 87 divided by 52 sine will be that, and then times 95.1 sine to get 109.9675. Let's just write this. This is the length in kilometers. So the total distance, either TD, is equal to 60 plus 87 plus 109.9675, which is equal to, let's just do that, plus 60 plus 87 to get 256.9675, and this is in kilometers. Of course, 3 hours 20 minutes, let's convert to hours. That's 1 by 3 hours, which is equal to 10 by 3 hours. Now the speed will be distance by time, which is this value, 256.9675, divided by 10 by 3. So that will be technically divided by 10 and then multiply by 3 after that. So divide by 10, multiply by 3. So we get 77.1 kilometers per hour. That's the answer. Let's go to question 8. A1. Show that the equation y equals x minus 4 into x plus 1 into x minus 2 can be written as y equals x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x plus 8. So this kind of straightforward, we just expand the brackets. Y equals x squared minus 3x minus 4 whole thing times x minus 2. So y equals x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x minus 2x squared plus 6x plus 8. So y equals x cubed minus 5x squared and then plus 2x and plus 8. And this is proven because they're the same as what's given here. That's the answer. Part 2. On the diagram, sketch the graph of y equals x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x plus 8, indicating the values where the graph crosses the axis. So first, let's find the x and y intercepts. So the x intercepts will be x equals 4, x equals minus 1, and x equals 2. Why are these the solutions? Because if they intersect the x-axis, that means y is equal to 0. So the solutions, the roots of these equation will be the answer. And then for y-intercepts, actually it's just y-intercept because it's only one. That will be, now we just substitute x equals 0 because y-intercept means x equals 0. So that will be minus 4 times 1 times minus 2, which is equal to 8. Now we can just write 8 here. Okay, now we found the x and y intercepts. There's one more thing which is missing. Yes, the turning points. How to find the turning points. So first, let's take the derivative of this graph. So while the derivative of this function is dy by dx equals 3x squared minus 10x plus 2. Because we bring the cube down, 3x and then 3 to the power of 3 minus 1. And then minus 2 times 5x to the power of 2 minus 1. And then plus 2 times 1 x to the power of 1 minus 1. And then we can ignore the constant. So this will cancel out. This will also cancel. So plus 2 will be here, which I've written. And then we have 2 times 5x, which is 10x. Give it in. It's a minus here, so I've written that. And 3 minus 1 is 2, so 3x squared. So that's the derivative. Now, if we solve this quadratic equation, let's just say this is 0. So if we solve it correctly, x equals 3.1 and x equals 0.2. These both are to one decimal place. So now we can substitute both of these values into the original equation, which is x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x plus 8. And if you do that correctly, you will get y equals minus 4.1 for x equals 3.1, and then y equals 8.2 for x equals 0.2. So now we can plot all of the points which we found. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have 6 points. So let's just estimate where the points are going to be. Let's say 4 is here, 2 is here for the x, so x equals 2, x equals 4, and x equals minus 1, let's say it's there. And then y equals 8 for the y-intercept, let's just say it's up there. And then y equals 8.2 and x equals 0.2, which will be somewhere up here. That will be our first turning point. And the second turning point will be x equals 3.1, y equals minus 4.1. So we do that, and this will be minus 4.1, like that. Now we can draw a graph. So it'll come, 1 minute, I'll just raise this right here. It'll come from down, and it'll come there, and then it'll turn sharply at the turning point. Not very sharply, but around like that. And then come downwards, and then go through, and in this turning point, it'll just turn back up. And then this will continue up. I know it's not really that good. It should be something like this. That's all. That's the answer. Now you can go to part B. The graph of y equals x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x plus 8 has two tangents with a gradient of 10. Find the equations of these two tangents. You must show all your working and give your answers in the form of y equals mx plus c. So well, for this we need to take the derivative of this. So the derivative, which is y dash or y prime, will be 3x squared minus 10x plus 2. This is the one. And well, this will be the gradient. So 10 will be 3x squared minus 10x plus 2. By the way, how do we get this? Because we take the power, we multiply it by the x, and then subtract 1 from the power. So x cubed becomes 3x squared. Minus 5x squared becomes minus of 2 into 5 times x to the power of 2 minus 1. So we get minus 10x. And then we just bring, this is x to the power 1. So 1 times 2 times x. And then to the power 1 minus 1, which is 1 times 2 to the x to the power 0. That will be 1 times 2, which is 2. And then this constant actually cancels out when we're doing a derivative. So if we don't have an x term, we just ignore it, just delete it. That's why. Now we can just solve this equation. So 3x squared minus 10x minus 8 equals 0. And now we just put quadratic formula. Minus b plus or minus root of b squared minus 4ac by 2a is equal to x. And that will be minus of minus 10 plus or minus root of minus 10 the whole squared minus 4 into 3 into minus 8 by 2 into 3. That will be 10 plus or minus root of 100 plus 96. So 196 divided by 6. So that would be 10 plus 14 by 6, which is 4, or 10 minus 14 by 6, which is minus 2/3. And these will be our x values. Now we can find the y values in the actual equation for each of these x values. I'll just minimize this writing a bit, besides it a bit, so I have more space. If you want to see the working again, you can just skip back to that part of the video. Here we go. Now we can just substitute x equals 4. So y equals 4 cubed minus 5 into 4 squared plus 2 into 4 plus 8. That would be 64 minus 80 plus 8 plus 8, which is in fact 0. So y equals 0 for the first one when x equals 4. And then for the second one, we can do when y is equal to minus 2 by 3 the whole cubed minus 5 into minus 2 by 3 the whole squared plus 2 into minus 2 by 3 plus 8. So y equals minus 8 by 27 minus 20 by 9 minus 4 by 3 plus 8, which I will actually just intentionally write as 216 by 27. Now we can write 20 by 9 as 60 by 27. And 4 by 3 is 36 by 27. Now we can do this, and we get 112 divided by 27. They don't have any common factors, so we can't simplify it. And this is the y value when x is minus 2 by 3. Now you can simply substitute these into a gradient equation, a line equation, y equals mx plus c. So let's do the first one. Let's just say there's 1 and there's 2. So let's do the first one. That will be 0 equals 10 into 4 plus c, and 0 equals 40 plus c equals minus 40. Where did I get m equals 10? Well, it says the gradient is 10, so yeah, m has to be 10, right? And now for the second one, we can do 112 by 27 is equal to 10 times minus 2 by 3 plus c, which is equal to 112 by 27, that's minus 20 by 3, which you can write as minus 180 by 27 plus c. So c equals 292 by 27. And we can't simplify this, so we'll just write that. So y equals 10x plus, for the first one, minus 40. So we can actually replace this minus 40. And for the second one, c is 292 by 27. So y equals 10x plus 292 by 27. This will be our answer. Guys, actually, I kind of complicated things here. I do not actually need to use the formula. If you all notice this, it's great. Kind of simple to just multiply A and C to get minus 24 and then use the factorization method. So something times something equals minus 24 and something plus something equals minus 10. So these two numbers are minus 12 and 2. Just do the minus 12 and 2. And then we can write it as 3x minus 12 into 3x plus 2. And now we can simplify this. We can divide this full thing by 3 to get x minus 4 into 3x plus 2. We cannot simplify this side, so this is our final factorization. And now we find x equals 4 using that, and x equals minus 2 by 3 using this bracket. So yeah, I kind of complicated things a bit there, but it's fine. Anyway, guys, if you found what complication I did, good job. Let's go to question 9. Question 9. A. Simplify. 1. 3x squared y to the power 4 whole to the power 3. So this can be written as 3 cubed times x squared cubed times y to the 4th whole cube. That will be 27 times x to the power of 2 into 3 times y to the power of 4 into 3. That will be 27x to the power 6 y to the power of 12. That's the answer. Let's go to part 2. 16 by x to the power 16 y to the power 8 whole to the power minus 3 by 2. That will be 1 by 16 by x to the power of 16 y to the power of 8 whole to the power 3 by 2, right? And that's square root 1 by the square root of 16 by x to the 16th y to the 8th whole to the power 3. That will be 1 by the square root of 16, which is 4, and the square root of x to the power 16 is x to the power of 8. Square root of y to the power 8 is y to the power 4. This whole thing cubed. Now you can write that as, I'll just erase this. Now you can write that as 1 by 64, which is 4 cubed, divided by x to the power of 24 times y to the power of 12. And that will be, flip the fraction, x to the power of 24, y to the power of 12, divided by 64. This is the answer over here. Let's go to part B. 1. Factorize x squared minus 9. This is in the form of a squared minus b squared, since 9 is equal to 3 squared. So that's a plus b into a minus b, right? And that will be x plus 3 into x minus 3. Part 2. Simplify x squared minus 9 by 2xy minus 6y plus 5x minus 15. So first we can write x squared minus 9 as x plus 3 into x minus 3. And then divide by 2xy minus 6y, we can factorize 2y out, and then x minus 3, and then plus, factorize the 5 out here, 5 into x minus 3. That will be x plus 3 into x minus 3, divided by 2y plus 5 into x minus 3. Because this x minus 3 can be factorized out in this whole equation here, and then we get x minus 3 into 2y plus 5, which is just the same as that. I can cancel out the x minus 3's to get x plus 3 by 2y plus 5. That's the answer. Let's go to part C. Solve the simultaneous equations. You must show all your working and give your answers corrected to decimal places. So 2x plus y equals 7. Let's keep that as equation 1, and equation 2 is the second one over there. Y equals 5x squared plus 2x minus 13. Now you can rearrange 1, or equation 1, to get y equals 7 minus 2x. Let's just name this equation 3. So now let's use the substitution method of 3 into 2 to get 7 minus 2x equals 5x squared plus 2x minus 13. So 5x squared plus 4x minus 20 equals 0. Now we can use the quadratic formula. X equals minus b plus or minus root of b squared minus 4ac by 2a. And we can just substitute the values of a, b, and c. So minus 4 plus or minus root of 4 squared minus 4 into 5 into minus 20. Whole thing divided by 2 into 5. Now that means x equals minus 4 plus or minus. So 4 squared is 16, and minus 4 into 5 into minus 20 is 400. So root 416 by 10. That's 2 into 5. Now you can get a calculator out. There we go. So 416 we square root. First let's take the positive square root, and then we minus 4, and then divide by 10 to get 1.64 to 3 significant. Or now we can take the negative square root. 416 we square root and then negate it, and then minus 4 to get that, divide by 10 to get this, minus 2.44. These are the two x values. We can just write these. Oh yeah, by the way, I accidentally said 3 significant figures, but it's actually 2 decimal places. But still, I rounded it to 2 decimal places anyway, so yeah, this is fine. Now we can find the values of y using the equation 3. So you can substitute these values into equation 3. So substituting x equals 1.64 into equation 3, we get y equals 7 minus 2 into 1.64, which is equal to, let's do that right there, 7 minus 2 into 1.64, we get that 3.72. And then we can substitute x equals minus 2.44 into equation 3. Y is equal to 7 minus 2 into minus 2.44. That will be, so first let's do minus 2 into minus 2.44. That's the same thing as 2 into 2.44. That was 4.88, and then plus 7 to get 11.88. That's our answer. Let's go to question 10. A. ABCDEFGH is a cuboid with square base of side x centimeters. CG, this length, is equal to 20 centimeters. And AG, which is this full long diagonal length, is 28 centimeters. Calculate the value of x. So first of all, using these two, we can find the length of the diagonal of this square base, right, AC, because this full thing forms a right angle triangle. And how to find the third side length of a right angle triangle given two sides? Pythagoras theorem, yes. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now since we need to find one of the sides, we can rearrange it to make b squared is equal to c squared minus a squared. So in this case, b will be the side AC, which is the diagonal here. That will be 28 squared minus 20 squared, and that will be 784 minus 400, which is 384. And by the way, that's AC squared. So AC is root 384, right? And let's just do that. Now, we can just square root to get 19.5959 goes on. So 19.6 to 3 significant figures. So now we found one side length. And the side of the triangle is actually the hypotenuse of another right angle triangle, which is triangle ABC. Now, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And since both AB and BC are x length, so x squared plus x squared equals 19.6 squared. So 2x squared equals 19.6 squared, which is equal to, let's just do that, 19.6 squared, 384.16. X squared is equal to 384.16 divided by 2 to get 192.08. And now x is the square root of 192.08, which is 13.9 centimeters to 3 significant figures. That's the answer. Let's go to part B. The diagram shows a different cuboid, JKLM and PQR. MR is equal to 30 centimeters, which is this length. Correct to the nearest centimeter. Let me just write that, 30 centimeters. KR is equal to 37 centimeters. Correct to the nearest centimeter. Calculate the lower bound of the angle between KR and the base JKLM of the cuboid. So first, we can take this diagonal of the base to be the third side of the right angle triangle over here, and the angle between KR and the base is this angle, which is in fact the opposite when comparing with the side MR. So we can use the sine formula. Sine theta equals opposite by hypotenuse. So now we can substitute values for opposite hypotenuse. But first we need to consider that we are using the lower bound of the angle between KR and the base JKLM. So to find the lower bound, the opposite has to be as low as possible, or the lower bound of the opposite. I'll just write that. We have to use the lower bound of the opposite, and then we have to use the upper bound of the hypotenuse. Because if you divide by a larger number, then you get a smaller number as the answer. Since you already know the opposite and hypotenuse, we can do lower bound of 30, 29.5, 29.5, divided by upper bound of 37, 37.5. And that's sine theta. So theta will be sine inverse of this value. And we can simply find this out using our calculator and get the answer. Here we go. 29.5 divided by 37.5, and then a simple sine inverse to get 51.9 degrees as our final answer. By the way, this is the lower bound of the angle. It's not just the angle, it's the lower bound. That's the answer. And with that, I come to the end of the paper. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends and family, and comment on how you think this video was. With that, it's me, Sanjay Vasu, signing out. Thank you. Bye.